I started graduate school in 1968. And 1968, I was very idealistic and I had some ideas and I got a master's degree and it was on my way to get a PhD when I noticed that the people that were teaching me and supposed to give me a degree, I always felt they were less than me. And I wanted something else. Now this was in the late 60s and everybody was very idealistic and it was a different kind of a time. But what I'm trying to say is that from then, when I was a young man, young married man, and now to now when I'm a grandfather, so coming over and looking here at Rabbi Mimran. He should have been the dean of the School of Education at the University of Massachusetts, which I left. So let's look at what Rabbi Mimran wants to tell us, because we need to know our position in the world. Where are we in our world? Because this could be a tremendous help to our happiness and to give us back control of our life. So he says like this is a piece, beautiful piece. Let me see if I can get this worked out a little bit better. The piece is called The End of Time. So he says like this, it's a little bit mistranslated at the end. I'll try to straighten it out. He says the purpose of man's existence is to attach his soul to the higher world, to connect to the world beyond physicality. Through this, he will be able to connect with him. There should be a period here. Him means Most High, because he becomes similar to the Most High in his effort. Now, that's my interpretation of that last little line, which was not so simple. So God in his infinite wisdom has disguised souls in material forms for a definite purpose. Now, this is a big idea. He said it very nicely. He has disguised souls in physical forms. As discussed at length, if you had a chance to look at the Shara Gilgulim, the Gates of Reincarnation, which is written by the Arizal. Unfortunately, where we're at right now, mankind has reached such complexity that this basic awareness has been completely lost. In present-day humans, consciousness is completely identified with its disguise, its outer form. It only knows itself as form, something physical, and therefore lives in fear of the annihilations of its physical or psychological forms. I can't take it anymore like that. Or we're worried that we're going to die. That's the fact. This is the egoic mind, because the ego wants to live forever because it wants to be something. And this is where considerable dysfunction sets in. Let us give a parable to understand this better. There once was a young prince whose father, the king, felt that his son was ready to leave the comforts of the palace and challenged, let me get it up here at the top, this page here. He challenged him to venture into the real world, to become independent and gain a living on his own merit and strength. Concealing his identity, and no one knowing who he really was, the young prince starts out on his journey with excitement and enthusiasm, but slowly feels his energy level becoming depleted, as well as his money, due to his inability to cope with the tremendous demands of his new life. With no other choice, he commences to work and enters the illusionary pursuit of wealth and happiness. Yes, if I live in a big house and I have a big car. Over time, he noticed that his actions are not drawing him any closer to his goal, but rather immersing him in an ever-spiraling chase for the invisible and the unreachable. One day, finding himself in a state of total exhaustion and close to a nervous breakdown, giving up all hope, he's broken. He pauses. He is still and experiences a feeling of calmness, of assurance that all will be okay. There's really nothing to fear. He is the son of the king. Now he says, this parable describes the journey of the soul that God implants in all things to live in this physical reality. This physical reality we call the earth. So we live here on earth, that is, our soul lives in this physicality. The animated body and the spiritual soul, now in a tight-knit relationships, are here on this planet to gain awareness of their Creator and gain perfection for themselves in both the physical and spiritual dimensions. This is done by following a prescribed set of rules devised by the ultimate wisdom of God in His Torah, in order to transmute and transform themselves into elevated spiritual beings in the prescribed time limit of 6,000 years. This is our effort. If a person is successful in his life's journey, that soul then lives in a state of ecstasy forever after. That's Rabbi Mimran. Now let's see if I can zero in on this little piece down at the bottom. I'm going to bring it down lower. Bring it down a little bit lower. See if I can get it to work here. He says, the animated body and the spiritual soul now live in a tight-knit relationship, are here on this planet to gain awareness of their Creator. That's why we're here. That's what we're doing, is to make a yichud between us and our Creator. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel. Thank you for listening.